Now we move on. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has called U.S. tariffs that are set to hit certain exports this week as very punitive and said that his country would seek to limit their impact. Let's listen into what South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa had to say.
South Africa is confronted by the immediate and damaging punitive tariffs announced by the United States. While we must act with urgency and purpose to limit the impact of these very punitive tariffs, we must also undertake measures to ensure the resilience of our economy and exports into the future. We will continue our engagements with the United States with a view of normalizing trade relations and generally strengthen bilateral relations.
This comes as South African products exported to the U.S. will be hit by a 30% tariff. From August 7th, South Africa faces the highest rate of tariffs in sub-Saharan Africa. The decision is a huge blow to South Africa, as the U.S. is its second biggest trading partner. South Africa has tried for months to negotiate a trade deal with the U.S., offering to buy American LNG and invest $3.3 billion into the U.S. in a framework trade deal. But the effort was unsuccessful, even after South Africa made last-minute attempts to improve its offer. Ramaphosa had earlier said that his administration would continue negotiating with the United States. Now we are joined by Ross Feingold. He's a political analyst, joins us live from Taipei, Taiwan. Thank you, Ross, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, first, looking at Brazil and U.S., how might Trump's stiff tariffs on Brazil reshape U.S.-Latin America relations?
That remains to be seen. There are a number of countries in Central and South America which the Trump administration, or President Trump himself, has a good relationship. El Salvador and Argentina come to mind. There are other countries in South America that have been critical of President Trump. So I would say it's just simply too early to assess what the trajectory of U.S. relations with Central and South America are going to be over the coming 3.5 years that remain in the Trump administration. And even the tariff issue is still somewhat in flux because, notwithstanding the statements from Trump administration officials, I think the Trump administration is still open to negotiation with countries, notwithstanding the implementation of tariffs this week. And that very might will include Brazil. I think there's still a lot of unknowns in how the court case against former President Bolsonaro is going to go. Trump could change his mind. He's done that before on issues of tariffs as well. So what is going to drive U.S. Central South American relations? Is it trade? Is it migration? Is it China's role in the region, which the United States is concerned about? I think it's simply too early to tell.
And Ross, now staying on Brazil and U.S., could this escalating trade tensions between U.S. and Brazil trigger broader economic or political realignments within them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's something to watch. Of course, there's hope for alternative groupings like the BRICS, for example, or bilateral trade agreements between countries. And that's something that Brazil is obviously going to pursue in the coming months and years. There are other regional trade pacts, like here in the Asia-Pacific region, the CPTPP, which some South American countries are in and more might want to participate in. One thing we know, though, is that the traditional multilateral processes and organizations like the World Trade Organization, which really was supposed to facilitate trade, that's off the table. The Trump administration is not really looking to the WTO to solve or to be a problem solver or to help create breakthroughs in trade negotiations. In fact, I think you could say the WTO at the moment is all but dead.
And how can South Africa and Brazil leverage its position within the African Union or for South Africa and BRICS for Brazil to address these challenges with U.S. tariffs?
of course, they have a lot of hope on a trade relationship with China. The challenge for South Africa is they don't manufacture much. So they might export agricultural or other natural resources, but China has the ability to export an enormous amount of manufactured goods, whether that's consumer electronics, other household products, automobiles. China certainly has an ability to export a lot of products, not just to South Africa, but to other countries in Africa as well. So that's something that South Africa has to be concerned about as it expands the trade relationship with China. Brazil's in a bit more better position. They do have agricultural products that China desperately wants. Of course, China is going to insist on a good deal for China, that they get better access to Brazil for China's exports as well. So yes, they'll be looking to China, both of them, both South Africa and Brazil. Again, they might be looking to other regions or trading partners around the world as well. But they're definitely going to be looking to China. But of course, from an American perspective, the Trump administration is going to say, you need to be very careful about that.
Thank you, Ross, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion.